Are you frustrated with endless feeding schedules? Let Grow Dots take the wheel. Imagine planting a seed and watching it burst into life, effortlessly reaching its full potential. Grow Dots' unique programmed release technology simplifies plant nutrition, providing all essential nutrients in a single application. Time-saving, efficient and hassle-free. From lush foliage to vibrant blooms, Grow Dots ensures each stage of growth is nourished to perfection. Compare this with traditional methods and you'll see why gardeners everywhere are switching. No more guesswork, just thriving plants. Join countless satisfied growers who've transformed their gardens with Grow Dots and recharge. Visit www.realgrowers.com/Cortez and make your garden dreams a reality. Why wait? Your best harvest starts now.
Go to the link in the description to save big and score free shipping on all Real Growers products, or use coupon code Cortez at checkout. Every time you save, you're also helping the channel bring you content like this.
What's going on, everybody? Cortez the Conqueror.
Hello.
And Canna Alicia.
Thanks all for coming.
This is gonna like bother me the whole show. So I got this new internet, but now for some reason the new phone doesn't want to play nice with the computer, so I'm going through like the webcam for today. But the show must go on, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it'll be all right. I'll figure this out during the week. Oh, well, actually, next week, too, we will be here. Same time, same channel. The only thing, though, is we're not going to be live, but I do have something probably equally as exciting, if not more. I got to edit it with a couple days off. I got to come in here, a couple days off that I got to come in here. But we are going to play the wing video from the DGC Cup last year in its entirety.
Yeah, you get to see everybody. Really, I'm excited to see it all in one piece.
Right, and then there's like people like I got Tanazi on there from Sacred Three Mushrooms. I got Brett from Heart and Soil. I actually got a couple people that you guys haven't seen yet that didn't make it to the clips. So basically be everything from the editing room floor.
Gonna be fun.
Oh, most definitely.
And today we're doing our holiday extravaganza. So there's going to be 5 prize packs. People to win some good stuff.
Secret Santa action going on. And if you guys want to participate, you can actually start now. So for the 5 prize packs, we're not going to necessarily tell you guys what they are. I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny. There might be some grow dots and recharge in there. There might be some genetics in there. There might be like an infused cheesecake kit in there, but we'll reveal that after the drawing. So with that being said, since there's 5 different prize packs, here's how you guys are going to enter. You got to put, and it's all going to be like one word, like a hashtag, you know what I mean? So it's going to be Cortez saves 1, Cortez saves 2, or I'm sorry, hashtag Cortez saves 1, hashtag Cortez saves 2, hashtag Cortez saves 3, hashtag Cortez saves 4, hashtag Cortez saves 5. So that's all you guys got to do. I mean, you can enter for multiple ones. Nobody's going to win twice. So there are 5 prize packs. There are 5 winners. If you guys want to start dropping that in the live chat now, you will be automatically entered to win. And
a huge thank you because Rasufa threw some stuff in for us. Chonky donated. I had, you know, so we have a good collaboration.
We can neither confirm nor deny, but
what the items are at the moment. But I wanted to make sure because they're very nice to have done that. It's very awesome. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We had some friends of the show throw in. We had the channel sponsor, Real Growers, throw in. And with Real Growers, everybody can be a winner with coupon code Cortez. Just use that at checkout or check out my website, www.realgrowers.com/Cortez, and you can save some pretty decent money and score free shipping on any orders over $50 within the continental United States. All right. Now that we got all the advertisement kind of stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and bring on our guest.
Yes.
Got JLS Monster. What's going on, buddy?
How are you guys?
Empty. I'm
doing well.
Good.
How are you?
Good.
I'm doing good. Finished up with work for the day, and I'm just here to hang out.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for your time, man. Thanks for coming out to kick it.
Of course. Thank you for the invite.
Oh, hell yeah. Had to have you on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure. You don't get to, like I was telling Cortez backstage, you don't get to see very many females doing interviews in the cannabis space. So it's really nice to like have a different perspective on questions to ask, voices to even hear. So it's you know, gotta support.
Thank you. Thank you. We try.
Yeah, we try to do stuff that's like a little bit different. You know what I mean? Can't always just do the same thing, and even try to switch it up like week to week so things don't go like kind of stale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta give a huge shout out here to another friend of the channel, Mr. Chubbs SKS, or what is his name? This is some old school brick hash, and this is actually some of the hash that he took 2nd place in Germany with last year. So super exciting. I got a little piece of the slab there.
That's so awesome. He still has it too.
Oh, hey, I want to say something really quick. Thurgood Jenkins. Oh, wait, hold on here. Thurgood Jenkins. So it's going to be the numbers. It's not going to be the word written out. Like you almost had it. So, I shouldn't even tell him because he wins everything.
I know. He's allowed. Well, I mean, not for everything. But.
Yeah.
So, Jeremy.
Like the guy's got like a rabbit's foot up his ass.
Might be somewhere. I don't know where it is. Yeah. It's none of my business. But Jeremy, I was curious, how did you get? You seem like the dab king. Like, what got you into dabs? Like, I was amazed by the equipment you have, and
yeah. So I started smoking hash in 2009. I'd been smoking cannabis since 2004, and it was just kind of an escalation of my tolerance. And then eventually I found somebody that had hash. So that's kind of what I went to, because it was something where it was just the next level potency.
Yeah.
And then around 2000, and because that was all like what Cortez has, like old school hash.
Yeah.
Oh, is
And
this brick
then
hash?
and around
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Back
2011
in 2009, what were you doing? Was that like a BHO, or it was more of like
Oh
the
no!
brick style hash here?
So originally it started as like the old school brick hash, and then
Oh yeah.
in 2011, maybe, yeah, about 2011, the BHO kind of entered my world, and that was about the same time that I kind of got with my wife, and she's a pain patient, so
Nice.
she has a disability. She was born with it, so she's just kind of living with a consistent level of like exhaustion and pain. And BHO was immediately something that just like, I watched her take her first dab, and she was like, I watched her melt, and it was just so, looking back, it was very like just that turning point for me, where I realized I needed to have this available to her so that she could actually like get off of pain pills and like,
Right.
try to live a better life. And then in 2012, we moved to Colorado, and access in Colorado is just that much better. So at that point, it was just kind of like, go to the store and get it.
I've
That's
seen her
actually
work. She does
something
beautiful
that
work.
we share in Jeremy. My wife's also, she's partially disabled at this point, but she had a stroke maybe going on about like 2-3 years ago now. So she has some pretty intense nerve pain and whatnot.
Yeah.
From everything, kind of like reconnecting, you know what I mean?
I couldn't imagine, man. I don't really have to deal with like too much like ailments or anything like that. I kind of smoke, I say recreationally, but obviously like I receive some benefits medicinally from it as well.
Right.
But like, I don't have like aches and pains like regularly. Like I'll obviously like, kick butt in the greenhouse, and then I don't have to like, deal with like an ibuprofen where I can take a dab. So I think that's kind of like always been my way of like curing.
Do you guys ever go the topical route?
I've always just been a big fan of the rush you get from taking like a 1/4 of a gram dab and just really getting high. It's kind of addicting in that regard.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. And you always got some phenomenal stuff.
Yeah. So at this point, I make it all myself. I breed it. I grow it. It's all, in-house.
Wow.
Can you kind of tell us more about your process? Because like, for those people that don't know, like some of the best like fresh frozen rosin really does come out of Colorado. And I've had it from a couple of different people now, you know what I mean? Like Taking Tops has some really good stuff. Kyle from over there at Tropicana. But whenever I get something from you, man, like honestly, like your work always really does stand out in that like rosin space. But could we kind of get more into like what is your process? Like how is your stuff like so much lighter than like somebody at home with a press that's doing something? Like can we kind of go down the road of like what do you do from harvest to that blonde live rosin?
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of tricks to having the perfect hash. And it ultimately starts like, let's all assume that we get to harvest and the plants are good. Like we don't have like burnt leaves and we're like, it was a good round.
Yeah.
So at that point, when you start to harvest that plant, so when you start to harvest that plant for the fresh frozen process, the less you cut into the leaf material, the better. So
you're chopping whole plant.
Yeah. So, I'm holding it by the stem. I'm never touching the actual nugs or the resin at all. So the only time it's actually touched is when I chop it off the branch and it goes into the bag. There's a little contact from the bottom of the bag to the resin. And then when the next nug falls on top of it, I don't ever touch it with my fingers until I'm putting it in the water.
Oh wow.
So I'll put a 5-gallon bucket on a chair, and then I'll put a turkey bag inside the 5-gallon bucket, and I'll put some clothespins on it, and I'll harvest over top of that so that I can just chop my nubs right into the turkey bag.
Oh,
If it's a very
that's a good
small
one.
amount of
We'll use
plant
that.
material, you can do it on like a roasting pan, and you can just freeze
Yeah.
it as is and then wash it the next day after it's been in the freezer for 24 hours. But
Okay.
if you've got
When
a
you say
lot,
freeze
you
it,
just
what
need to
type
kind of fill the
of
turkey bag.
temperatures are you freezing at? Like your standard freezer? Are you going sub-zero?
So I have done it both ways. To be honest, you get a better result the colder you get it, the faster. So a lot of the really like heady professional guys will put some dry ice in the bottom of their 5-gallon bucket so that it's freezing it while they're harvesting it.
Get
I've
those
never,
trichome heads right away.
yeah, and like if you're harvesting something that doesn't wash well, or it's like super terpy and maybe like kind of tricky to wash, which I can go over here in a little
Or
bit,
like an OG or something.
or something that's maybe like sativa dominant, that's a little bit just more like
Oh,
slick when you touch it.
Yeah.
If you're
right,
trying
right.
to like bleed a turnip, you want to like kind of go to every extent to like get that resin off that plant as efficiently as possible. Um, but my standard process, I want it to be as cold as possible when I'm harvesting, but I don't always have that availability because I'm in a greenhouse. Sometimes it's in the middle of summer. Um, so usually I set a 30-minute timer, and I put the material in the freezer every 30 minutes. So I might get between 4 and 800 grams processed in that time, depending on if it's from the top or the bottom, because the bottoms take a lot longer because there's all those little leaves on there that you usually miss when you're defanning. So there's always a lot more like
Right.
Yeah.
actual scissor work in those regards. And then if it's in a hotter room, I just set my timer for like 15 or 20 minutes. Like I just have less time for the plant material to like start sweating while it's in the bag. So if you're in a hot room and you're harvesting in a hot area, just take less time in between throwing them in the freezer. You will waste a few more bags that way, but
But
it's you know it's
It's
just kind
worth
of
it.
the thing you have to deal with.
Yeah.
When I put my bags in the freezer, I don't tie them closed for the first 24 hours because there's going to be some off gassing that happens while it's freezing.
okay.
And you don't want
Okay.
that ethylene to get stuck in the bag because that's going to degrade things. It's kind of like a banana, how it puts off ethylene and it kind of makes everything around it get ripe. Well, you can kind of have the same process happen to cannabis.
Oh no.
While it's like, if if you have a big bag, that's why I always tell people to kind of like half fill bags, because if you get ahead of yourself and you fill up the bag real big, and then there's a center that will freeze much slower than the outside of the bag because it freezes from the
Creating a
outside in.
microclimate.
So you have a little bit of like sweat like that will happen inside of that bag, and that's hemorrhaging yields at that point. So that's why if you
What about
fill it
the
up too far,
chlorophyll? Is that a factor at all?
yeah, so that's what's going to happen is you're going to leach the chlorophyll out of the plant material easier in the wash because it didn't freeze optimally. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's the part of the process that kind of makes or breaks most people is when
To not get that
generally
like harsh tinge.
yeah, so usually you have like you'll remove all your water leaves and your fan leaves, right? And then you have your sugar leaves left on the bud. The common thought previously was to like trim those sugar leaves down to where the resin starts and then chop it off. But we've kind of been realizing recently that you don't really want to chop into the leaves at all. As long as you're freezing and doing all the other processes, having that like tip of the leaf is not that big of a deal as long as you are doing the rest of the process right. You won't have any chlorophyll. Actually, you have more likelihood of chlorophyll leaching from the cut leaf than the uncut leaf. So
Oh,
whereas your yields might go down slightly because you have more fresh frozen biomass because you haven't cut as much off of the plant, you have the availability for a higher quality like full melt, as they say. So like when it comes down to like trying to make full melt bubble hash, usually the difference maker at the top level is like if you get it under a microscope, you can see like little specks of black pepper is what they call it in it. And that all comes from over or mishandling the plant when you're harvesting it, or including the wrong microns in the finished product.
Gotcha.
So
what's your typical micron, going down to about 45, 60? What do you do?
So that's the real difference maker for like why my hash might be a different color than most people's hash. So, you know, generally most people just recommend doing a 20-minute first wash and then doing, you know, second, third, and a fourth, all 20 minutes, and just getting the most out of your material. But when you're like trying to like compete or like present a different level of hash, you can adjust those parameters and kind of like bring like a new life to the hash, kind of. So like my first wash, it used to be 20 minutes, but like if I'm going to be like selling the hash, I'm going to be doing a 6-minute first wash, and maybe even a 6-minute second wash, and then I'll go on to the 20 minutes and get the rest of my material like out of the actual, get the rest of my hash out of the material, and only that first and that second wash is going to you. You won't ever see the third or the fourth or the fifth if I have to do a fifth wash. That's kind of like cart grade or edible grade or my hash. If you're trying to like, you know, a lot of people will give you 25 to 159. So that's what most people call full spec. Some people will also include the 160 to the 189. But I find that tends to be a little bit greener, and that is almost like it will make your hash a completely different tint immediately by adding that. I only include the 73 to the 159, so that it's like what most people call the premium grades. Adding the 45 and the 25 is why the hash that most people give people is just that shade darker, is because they're, you know, adding just that much more to it. I do love full spec hash. It does, like when done right, if you give me like a first, second wash of 25 to 159, it's very good. But like it's always going to be a little drier or maybe cakier than the premium grades. The premium grades are always just so wet when it's in the jar. So it's just kind of like, I've just made the conscious decision that if I'm going to be presenting hash to the public, it needs to be kind of like as good as it can be.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you want to represent yourself. So that's always.
I can definitely attest to it. You got some of the best stuff coming out of Colorado that I've had personally, man.
When he gets some of yours in the mail, he's always taking pictures with it. Like, nice. Oh, look what I got. I'm like, ah.
Nice. Hell yeah.
The monster has hit Chicago.
Yeah, I used to come to Chicago all the time back in the day. That's where I used to buy all my weed from. Once a week, I'd drive from Southern Illinois up to Chicago. It was
sounds about right.
Sounds fun.
Where are you from in Southern Illinois?
So, Carmi, Illinois. So it's real close to like Carbondale or St. Louis. So like very southern tip of Illinois.
Yeah, I've actually spent some time out there. Familiar with East St. Louis. I've been as far south in Illinois as like Anna, Illinois.
Okay.
If you're familiar, that's kind of like Illinois, Kentucky border, but I've been over by the Missouri side too. And you got all the like Alton and all that stuff down there too.
Nice. Yeah, my whole family is from Joliet, so I'm kind of aware of the Chicago area for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've been to Joliet. Oh, here's my boy. Cannabis Lovers Genetics. It's actually a local breeder here that I talk to sometimes.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So yeah, man, you definitely came on to my radar through the DGC.
Yeah.
Nice.
But the one thing that definitely stood out to me is even like the first time like I ever heard your name or saw like you appear on there or whatever, Banner always held you in like really high regards. So just knowing like the true connoisseur that Banner is, that made me kind of like stop for a second and be like, hold on,
is
what's
this?
going on here? Banner's talking this guy up so much. There's got to be something to it.
Yeah, so I actually have the privilege of living in Fort Collins. So
Right,
I'm
right.
only like 15 minutes from Scotty, and I'm like 5 minutes from Banner. So I've kind of I have the ability to like go hang out with them in a friend setting rather than just like an interview setting.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I get to once a year.
Banner's actually growing a few of my cuts right now. And he is like, I just saw him last night at Taken Tops had a toy drive that he does.
Yeah, I saw
Shout
it.
out to Taken Tops.
Big shout out
Yeah.
Taking Tops.
Yeah, I saw that.
He does it. I don't know if he did it last year, but he's done it like 3 years so far that I've attended.
I told him to let me know. He never let me know. I was gonna send some toys out there.
He's a busy guy, so I gotta, he's trying to run his little personal business by himself. So props to him.
Yeah.
But it's just such an awesome little thing that he does to like give back. It's just like bringing us together and just having us come together for a good reason rather than just to get high.
Hell yeah.
So it was nice. Yeah. Banner and Grambo and Scotty and Adam Dunn, and there's a bunch of people there last night. That it was a pretty cool show.
Hell yeah.
Sounds
Sounds like you guys had some of the biggest names in Colorado there.
They all came.
I'd actually never met Adam.
Everybody was there.
Pretty nice guy. Yeah.
I met who's the other guy? He's red hair, but I think he's like bald now. That's on Adam Dunn show.
That's me.
No, but I forget his name, but I met one of the Adam Dunn co-hosts last year at the DGC Cup.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that guy walking around. I don't remember his name either.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I'd give him a shout out if I remembered. Stoner brain.
Yeah, so it's the hash. It is somewhat unique in regards to the fact that I'm like doing the breeding myself, so that I'm not just like giving you the same strains that most people are giving you. And they are very well selected for like a very specific intent. So like if I keep it either melts my wife, like her pain just goes away. So usually people will almost immediately be like, whoa, that was very potent. Like, I don't like messing with cannabis, like social cannabis. Like, I have one strain that I'm not really the biggest fan of, but I keep it around because it's kind of like that thing. It's a crash.
I got one of those.
It's kind of got that Tropicana orange vibe, and it's very social, uplifting, but it doesn't really
Team No Tangy.
It doesn't really see. Okay, so it's from Agent Orange, so that's where the actual orange terps derive. So there's some like funky weirdness in the back of it, like it's like a rotting orange rind. It's not like a bright orange, but it's still got that same effect. So it just like it's a very daytime social smoke.
Effect, not the taste.
I'm sure if I had anxiety or something, it would be like perfect for me. Yeah. But like I'm used to smoking like very heavy chem based stuff, and like the Crash Glow, it's like a favorite right now in the Colorado rec scene. Like there's a few dispensaries that are running it now. But
no kidding.
I selected it in 2021, maybe the end of 2020, and I just had it in my mom's room for like a year, and I'd never grown it. I didn't want to grow it. And then I handed it to one of my buddies, Flatiron Farms, and he ran it, and it like did so well for him hash wise. And I knew it was gonna like wash well.
Got a pretty good
but I
return.
didn't know it would be like the next thing that they all really liked in that regard. And then I just kind of like started giving it to people. I've only grown it 4 times or so, and each time it's just kind of been like, yeah, this is okay.
What up,
it's just not my vibe. What was that?
Oh, I was giving a shout out to Booth Man, somebody I talked to on Instagram a little bit. We definitely got to get you on the show too, bud. I'm going to reach out to you through the DM.
Mr. Booth Man. Oh, geez.
Shout out to the Booth. I actually got
cool from Arizona.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely a cool guy. I actually got the super boof cut of the blackberry going right now.
Yeah,
That's
blackberry
one that
seeds.
I'm not a particular fan of, but dude, it's ready in like as little as 50 days. But you should go like 55, 60 with it just to add a
Mhm.
little bit more weight, little bit more potency. But it's like purple is all get out, nice high. It's
Mhm.
got some legs on it, but it's got that fucking orange taste.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you've had it, but it's like aggressively orange. But everybody
Yeah,
loves it.
so
The flower does really well. Everybody always wants a cut of it, so it's like, damn it, I gotta keep
yeah,
this around.
it's doing real well at all the hash competitions right now because it is so terpy and it's got that orange vibe. Um, there's a guy that's been winning a lot with his name is Trichome Tortoise, and he does this Skittles crossed with Super Boof, so it's like Z Boof, and it's I've
The German boof, the boof.
I've not actually tried it, but it's doing real well in all the competitions, so I've got to imagine it's exactly like it sounds, like a Skittlesy candy orange thing.
It might be good. So, dude, I gotta ask because I'm actually a huge fan of the chems myself. Daz from Night Owl actually knows that I'm a pretty big chem fan, so he actually just sent me a bunch of stuff. I just got some autoflowers going, but the reason I'm asking, so as far as like chems, like one of my favorite terp profiles in the world, call me crazy, is that like baby shit diaper terp you can pull out of the chem sometime. And I got it one time, but it was in an autoflower, so it was like here today, gone tomorrow. I'll never see that exact pheno again. But it's actually kind of funny. We brought up Banner earlier. Me and him, I don't know, we were just kind of wishing each other like happy holidays, but like earlier in the week, we had like our little we had like a little text exchange back and forth. Hey, what's going on? But he was I'm not even sure he knew you were coming on the show, and he was talking you up. He was bragging on you when I was talking to him about the cuts that you gave to him, and he was talking a lot about the kernel, the what is it, kernel chem?
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Can you tell us more about that one, about the strain?
Yeah, so Colonel Kim is Kim 4 times Kim 91. That was hit with a Kim D I-95 male, and then that was hit with a Gorilla Glue number 4 reversal. It's the actual strain name is Colorado Kim RBX3 from Ethos Genetics. So that was hunted by me and one of my partners in 2020. Maybe the end of 2019, but it was right around that little area. Um, it's it's the plant for me that has yielded the highest out of any plant I've ever ran for solventless. Um,
No
I'll
kidding.
hit uh, without CO2 and with a 500-watt light, I'll hit 2.5 pounds dried flower weight, and
No
it will
kidding.
wash a 7.5, almost 8% sometimes. Um, it's doing like for a 4x4 tent. It does my last round, and I recorded all this because I'm doing some under canopy lighting on the next round to do like a side by
Right,
side.
right.
It did 316 grams of hash for a 4x4.
Of hash, not just dried
Yeah.
flour.
Nope, that's finished rosin actually. So the hash was like
Holy
That's
shit.
amazing.
375 grams. So I've tried to reverse this plant. It drops pollen well. It's just not very stable. All of the seeds did not pass testing at all.
Uh,
Um, some of
Really?
the some of the people have had
clone only.
females that they found and kept, but I didn't release them. So my thought process was because it's such an inbred chem, it's got basically every chem inside of it. I needed to unzip the genetics. So like a lot of people talk about zipping and unzipping genetics. So like while you're reversing things and inbreeding them, you're zipping them tighter and zipping them tighter. And then if you outcross it to something that is not necessarily related to as closely, that's what they call an unzipping. So
Okay.
a lot of people, when they have problematic genetics or they've gotten themselves into maybe a bottleneck or something like that, they will choose to unzip their project to try to like add some genetic stability to it. So I've been on a hunt trying to find males that would work well with the Chem stuff.
Yeah.
So far, I used a Grape Pie times Wedding Crasher F2. It worked well. It just wasn't quite what I wanted. It at like the Wedding Crasher has that purple punch in it, so you tend to have things that aren't super potent when you find that purple punch vibey plant.
Really?
So that's like the opposite of what I want. I want something that's gonna like, no matter the female you select, I want it to like actually be potent. Like that's kind of the thing right now. Other than it obviously does well for hash. That being said, I hunted through those. I found one that did work for my wife. It just, wasn't like the greatest plant in the world in regards to like, it probably wouldn't win a competition in regards to terpenes. It was like grape chem.
Great
It hit,
Chem. I've never
yeah,
seen that expression.
it hit 6% on the wash, 5%
Not
to
bad.
rosin. So still like really above board on the numbers wise. But like, I went on to the next male and I used a Rainbow Belts 3.0 male from Archive Seeds. And I have a kind of a theory because his stuff is very, very inbred as well at this point. And my stuff was very inbred. And then the progeny had this like F1 vigor that you normally don't see in most polyhybrid crosses because they were so inbred. I had really incredible results. So I've actually found two different rainbow kernels that both do incredible numbers. One of them is very Chem dominant, and it's kind of like the flagship, the one that I just reversed, and I'm hunting through the seeds right now. And then there's another one that's kind of like limey, like that standard Rainbow Belts terp, and I've had them both hit 7% on the wash. So couldn't be more happy with that one.
Out of the harvest I just had, I actually ran a Rainbow Belts cross.
Nice.
Unfortunately, it was from seed, so you got to kind of expect that you're going to get like one or two wonky ones. Unfortunately, that one was like really finicky. It did get a lockout. But the nice thing about it, even though it was like such a finicky plant, it's like the nicest weed. You know what I mean? Off the Rainbow Belts that I had, I would say the dominant terp was that like burnt rubber.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was getting like heavy, like burnt rubber, almost like a rubber cement kind of terp out of it.
That's crazy.
Okay. So yeah, with the Rainbow Belt stuff, you have to be really careful because there's OGKB-esque phenotypes in that cookie stuff from the Do-si-do, which are like hard plants to grow. And then you have to also think the other portion of those genetics is Skittles, which is like notoriously the most finicky plant to grow. And the best growers in the world can like get that to harvest at 100% and like take it to competition.
Really?
It's kind of like why it's still winning in a lot of people's opinion. It's because it's so hard.
Right. Yeah, gelatos too. You'll run into like a lot of intersexual traits, a lot of hermaphrodites.
Well, that's very inbred. So like if you're crossing the gelato stuff to something that might just be like one generation removed from like a cookies plant, you're not really like unzipping. So you're kind of like adding recessives back onto one another, and you're going to have a very high chance of intersex when you're not like paying attention to like what's going on in that regard.
I don't know what it is, man. The one I always have bad luck with, it's always a GG4 cross that herms for me.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I can't, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like my grow style. Like if I touch GG4, like I'm going to find at least like 3 or 4 seeds in a plant.
And
I'm
that,
not
you know, that's-
gentle with my plants though. I run them kind of hard. I run my lights hard.
yeah. So I mean, that's kind of the
I don't do
MO
well
of
with
Gorilla
fragile things.
Glue. Yeah, so Gorilla Glue has been notorious for like being a problematic plant. That's why there was that Mycotech did the Gorilla Glue IBL, and it was like it took him like 5 or 6 generations, I believe, to like be happy and finished in that regard. Yeah,
Just finicky.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
With like all these strains that came from bag seed, like I'm pretty
that's what
sure
I was about to say. Gorilla
Chem's
Glue was
on
an
there
accident.
too. GG4.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm
so
pretty sure
it's just,
Skittles came out of bag seed too, didn't it?
well, there's a guy now that like he's the third gen. I think his name is Bob from the third gen family. He claims to be the guy that actually had found the Skittles. I'm not sure if it was in bag seed or if it was intentional at this point. I think the story has been told 5 different ways.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just like
Urban
At this
legends.
point, it's like urban folklore.
Yeah, that's the urban legend.
Everybody kind of agrees that that's the guy that's responsible for it. How it kind of came about and like what it actually is still kind of debated. The internet will say it's grapefruit times grape ape. Everybody says something else.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. It's kind of like opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, right?
And it depends. It's like regional. It depends which story you heard, which version you heard.
Similar to sour diesel, there's one sour diesel and there's 100 cuts. So,
but which one is the Josh D cut?
Yeah. So
you were telling me earlier that yeah. So you were telling me earlier that you've been working with some autos lately. Did you want to tell me a little bit?
Oh, really?
More? Yeah. So
expanding the repertoire.
I never really intended to do any work with autos, but I've just had so many requests for autoflowers. And I've just recently been tasked with growing a bunch of autoflowers at a satellite farm I work for. And we're doing like 240 or so autos that are probably like 45 or 50 days in right now. They're all like equivalent to like week 6-ish in flower.
Right.
I'm just so disappointed. It just some of them are great. Some of them just kind of smell like nothing, and then some of them actually smell like what people described old hemp would smell like a plant.
That kind of like botanical smell.
And it kind of smells like you dried the plant bad, like it was like a
right.
very poorly dried plant, but it's on a live
almost
plant.
like
you're like, why does it smell like a bad bag of weed? It's ridiculous. And to be honest, there are autoflower breeders that are doing incredible work. Daz, when he was with Mephisto, and Mephisto now, and Fast Buds, I've heard good things about. I haven't grown them, but I've heard good things. But there's just not enough people making selections to differentiate the market.
Yeah.
And I'm, I don't necessarily know how other autoflower breeders are doing what they're doing. But I know I'm going to be selecting for certain things. And that is going to be what kind of differentiates my autoflower stock from other people's autoflower stock. I'm going to make sure they all wash. When I pollinate a room full of autoflowers, when I go to harvest those seeds in 6 weeks, if I'm smelling the plants and they don't smell good, I'm going to throw it in the trash.
The only time I ever really run into those issues that you were kind of saying, not to badmouth anybody, but it's when I run like Dutch breeders, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you run into problems with that, with like any of the ILGM stuff. You're going to run into problems like that with Grower's Choice. I've run into it with Dutch Passion. Kind of fill in the blank, but it's a lot of that usually comes from You know how, like here in America, like our medical industry, they kind of say that it's like profits over patients. Like in Europe, they kind of have more of like the universal medical care or whatever. They used to be like the mega center, like everybody was flying to Amsterdam, but this was like 70s, 80s, 90s. But since then, I would say since somewhere in like the 2000s, it kind of made like a transition to where now most of those like European seed banks are garbage. Like they're kind of doing like
They're
the
like mills.
profits over patients
Mhm.
thing, but there's
Mhm.
like a lot of white labeling. So it's like, I got this pack of Barney's Farm, like it's got to be good, but you don't realize that they have like different breeders that are basically like
Yep.
what do you call that, like
Yep.
subcontractors or whatever the
Yep.
hell you want to call it.
Yeah.
So it's like people running their gear that they give them, but then they can do whatever they want with it. It's not like in a controlled environment. It's not in like a licensing like it could be in somebody's like basement, and then they're just basically turning the seeds back into the bank.
Yeah, so the way that I kind of acquired these autoflower seeds is via a subcontracted grower for one of those big companies. And I
See,
just
I
walked
knew
into his warehouse and he had plants hanging on a line and he handed me like 4 plants that were fully seeded and he said clean them, plant what you need and give me what's left.
Oh wow.
So I know for a fact
it.
there was
That
no
those
thought.
arrangements are all too common.
And so, what's happening is you'll see these people pollinating greenhouses full of autoflowers.
Hmm.
And then at the end, they're not, they're more worried about the few hundred seeds that are in every plant than determining whether the plant smells good at harvest and if those seeds should be included in the next generation or not. So,
Right.
they pop 100 seeds. Those Dutch breeders should probably eliminate like 70% of the females at harvest because from what I'm seeing, um, they're they're
Trash.
they're
They're
good stuff,
unstable.
but there's a lot of like just it's
Oh
visibly
yeah.
okay,
You might be
but
able
it's
to polish a turd out of there, but then like the other thing with them, they're so unreliable. The one that does look good will be the one to herm. Well, I don't know. That's like my experience from it. Like it'll be the frostiest, prettiest little thing, and then she's got like a little winky waving at you. You know what I mean?
so it's I thankfully haven't had any intersex traits with any of these seeds yet, but they're all being grown in the sun under like a more natural light
Oh,
cycle. So I'm not like jamming stuff down their throat in that regard.
yeah.
Um,
Guilty.
but I would say that my goal with the autoflowers is to just bring a couple of my cuts, maybe just one, into autoflower form. I may take that
Right.
rainbow kernel or that kernel and try to make it into autoflower
And then
form.
reverse it back through, I think it'll take
So
about 3 or 4 generations to
yeah,
really
so
perfect it. But
it's
it's
gonna be
definitely what
difficult.
like guys like Daz are doing the reversal from the photo back to the auto.
Yeah, so my plan is I've actually got some seeds from Daz. He did a regular seed drop back in the day of a Chem 91 regular
I
called
remember seeing that.
Community Service, I think is what it was called. And I found somebody that F4'd his F3s. So I've got like 35 F4s of the community service that are autoflower regulars from Daz. And seeing what I've been seeing from the other autoflower companies that I've been growing out, I have to just kind of stick with Daz, I think, in this regard,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
especially since I'm trying to bring like a Chem photo period into the autoflower world. And I think using the Chem
Right,
91
right.
regular auto seeds will be my goal there. So I'm
Ooh,
planning on taking it 4 generations
that's a good
before I
idea.
start the feminized. I'm just going to do 4 regular generations. And then on the 4th generation, I'll find the one, as long as they all autoflower at that point. Like I might have to go
Right,
5
right,
if they
right.
don't all autoflower, but I'm not going to feminize my first round until I get at least 99% autoflowering. So that's going to be
Right.
the goal for like the next 2 years or so is trying to get that finished up.
Damn, you got me excited. I actually just popped some
I love
stuff
autos
from
myself.
Daz from Night Owl the other day. It's Smoky Stash. It's got some different crosses, but it's basically like a three-way cross between cookies, Chem, and sour. So I'm pretty excited for that one.
Nice. Hell yeah. Yeah, I've only grown autos now. So I'm kind of new to like who breeds them, who does what. Um, I was kind of skeptical that the European autoflower market wasn't as disarray as everybody says it is.
Oh,
But like
it's bad. Don't waste your
it's
money.
I don't understand how they're even like, you know, around in that regard. They must just literally be selling seeds at like 10 cents a piece to seed banks. I have no idea.
Yeah. So the thing about it, where they do put in the work, rather than working their lines, they like to work Google SEO to make their stuff like optimize more in search engines, or like if you just did like a simple Google search of like autoflower seed, I bet you ILGM will be like one of the first ones that pop up, and they'll tell you world's greatest autoflower seed. Like what? And then they got other things that'll be like, oh, buy 10 seeds, get 10 for free. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, of the world's greatest autoflower. It says right here on the computer. It must be true. But I think they kind of prey on like newer breeders, people just coming into like the home grow space, because the thing they do a lot of times too is they'll tap into our sense of nostalgia. So you know what I mean? It's like, oh, like I want the blue dream I was smoking when I was in high school. Oh, I want the sour diesel. I want the auto chem dog. But like, here's the thing about it too. It's almost like knockoff cologne. So it's like, this is our version of Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio. But it's like, this smells nothing like Acqua because. But like with the seeds, even though they say like, oh, this is the Blue Dream autoflower, like there may be no Blue Dream or like anything that even went into the initial cross. It's like basically kind of like back in the day, you remember like selling weed and it didn't have a name, but you just make up a name for it.
Of course, yeah.
This is the Gorilla Bubblegum.
They're like, oh
yeah, somebody along the line, but it was just like made up fairy tale shit.
Yep. Yeah, so like that's the kind of the thing in the autoflower world, is it seems to be like the people that are doing it right are like obviously at the top of the list of everybody. Like the Dazes, like those people, like everybody holds them in such high regard because they're like
Daz,
really
Fast Buds, Mephisto. I would throw Sweet Seeds on there. They're actually out of Spain, but like they have some strains that they'll take all the way to 7th generation before releasing them. So like they're doing the work, they're doing it correctly.
It's just about the selection, right? So like if you're gonna buy Blue Dream auto from Daz, you would imagine that he like selected a Blue Dream-esque plant each generation of the way, so that like you would find Blue Dream when he finishes that project. But and even if they started with Blue Dream when they started the photo period to auto project, if they didn't like cut out and cull the plants that were like recessive or straight hazy or not representative of Blue Dream, that's why you have to kind of like hold breeders accountable and ask them questions and like, hey, what are you selecting for? What are you doing? Like, what is going on? Like, what am I paying for?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what am I getting? Because that's the thing too. Like they're gonna get people what? Maybe like once or twice. Like if you're kind of like dumb, maybe 3 times. But like, how many times are you gonna touch the stove before it's hot and be like, hey, you know what? I'm not buying no more. Like I'm not spending no more money from them. So it's kind of like short-term profits instead of building like an actual business relationship. because
Yeah.
I remember I had some stuff. That was my first Autoflower run, was Barney, a mix of Barney's Farm and ILGM, and boy was I disappointed at the end that it was this was not the Blue Dream from high school. The Gorilla Skittles tasted nothing like Gorilla Glue or Skittles.
Yeah, you know, I'm surprised you still grow autos if that was your first auto experience.
He's a glutton for punishment.
Well, no, because I spent all this money, so it was like, but it was pretty much about the time that I switched to like fast buds that like I really started seeing something to where it was like, okay, this will work.
So fast buds, that kind of reminds me of like, you know, how everybody's talking about fast flowering plants now, and how like there's a lot of gimmicks going on in the seed world about saying there's like fast sour diesel, and it's like a photo period seed stock that they're claiming flowers faster because it was hybridized with an autoflower, and then the photo period portion of it was taken further. But man, that is such a tricky situation, because if you really think about it, so like say if I wanted to like present the world with like a fast flowering sour diesel, and I took, you know, the community service that I have and I crossed it to the sour diesel. Well, 50% of the seeds are going to autoflower and 50% of the seeds are going to photo period. And then a very small recessive amount of the photo period stock is going to be a fast flowering portion of the photo period that has like that recessive trait from the autoflowers coming over, and it recombines with some different stuff. And then you have a plant that flowers in 7 weeks instead of 8 weeks, or, you know, vice versa.
Yeah.
But the likelihood of the one, so like say this, so if I hunted 40 of the plants and there was 20 photo periods and 20 autoflowers, that means probably 2, maybe 3 of the photo periods are going to fall into that fast flowering category. And the likelihood of them actually being a identical representation of sour diesel and not some like sour-esque but with some traits from the male. So like you might have to rehunt those multiple times to find a fast flowering sour diesel that to then self on itself.
That's the true representation.
Yeah, people are just picking whatever photo period flowers faster within that group and calling it a sour diesel, a fast flowering sour diesel.
Right.
And like that is a misrepresentation.
I mean, with some strains though, like I don't know, like I guess this is kind of like speculation on my part, but you know, now like there's strains that finish like early 50 days. I get a strain that finishes in 50 days. I think I've heard this isn't firsthand experience, but I've heard of like strains that are only going like 46, 47 days in flower and they're like completely done. Like it would be my suspicion to get flower times that short. There is some type of like autoflower or ruderellus that's like getting mixed in there that like, I don't know.
So
I don't really see a straight up photo period that's finishing that fast.
So my modified moose finishes in 48 to 52 days, but it's from a company called 00 Seeds out of Spain. And the original mother of that plant is called Chocolate Cream, which is a Mazar I Sharif times Landrace Indica. So it's an heirloom times a landrace. And they also have a Chocolate Cream Auto. So I get what you're saying there. There has to be some like
somewhere in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because the chocolate cream itself finished right at like 56 days, like a standard 8-week plant. And then I crossed it with GMO, and I found some that were finishing in like 10 weeks, but I found this one that finished in like 48 days. And it's really nice for me because I can grow it outside, and it's done on October 1st. So like I don't have to worry about like pushing into the winter at all. It's like ready, like 5 to 10% amber. When it's outdoors. When it's indoors at that point, it's like more on the 1 to 5% amber range. like perfect for hash. You may want
Maybe
to take
then
it,
get like a little bonus round at like the end of summer. That'll be like the last one you put out just to squeeze out that little bit extra weight.
Yeah, you
I feel
gotta,
you.
you might want to push it like 52 to 56 indoors if you're not using any like spectrum tuning esque situations. Because I do use
Right.
far red in my indoor grow, so it does kind of shave some flower time off a little bit.
And then I don't know,
But
like with me, I usually, even if something is done at like day 50, 55, I'm still pushing to day 60. But like I usually do that. Like I'll go a little bit longer with indicas and sativas. Cause like if it's an indica, I want to lock in like more of that dope. So I want to put a little bit of couch lock on it. If it's a sativa, I like the scary stuff. So I like to bring the paranoia out a little bit more. Sometimes I kind of like to smoke weed and be like a little scared, you know what I mean?
hey, I'll be right back. My cat's yelling at me. 1 second.
Definitely.
Cat conversation.
Take a cat break. But we do got to remind everybody
Yes.
today is a giveaway. So if you guys want to enter, it won't be too much longer here. We're doing 5 different prize packs. So you got to put Cortez hashtag Cortez saves 1 through a hashtag Cortez saves 5.
And you're using
Wow,
numbers.
you can tell. Yeah, using numbers, Thurgood Jenkins. You guys saw I got a little high. Damn. I know what it is too, why I'm like a little extra high today. It's definitely this brick hash from Chubbs.
I would assume so.
Yep.
When I saw that, I'm like, yep, he's gonna be ripped. Where do you find, like, I'm sure they're just normal everywhere, but those rigs are like the craziest things I've ever seen that you have. It's like they're like pieces of artwork. They're amazing.
Yeah, so I kind of went through a cycle where I wasn't really as much into like the heady glass, like the artistic glass,
Yeah.
but I was really into what the people call scientific glass.
Yeah.
So it like has different, like each rig has a little bit of a different function, and it was always like a mission of mine to find the rig that went with the nail that gave me the best like experience. It's kind of like a weird efficiency optimization type of situation.
I get it.
Man, the way that we
There
smoke
we go.
hash has evolved
Shout out
so
Chonky.
much. I remember originally it was just titanium nails, and then we were just going at them, basically red hot. Like in the beginning it was red hot, and then you'd let it cool down a little bit when they finally invented the carb cap. And then
I'm still a sucker for a red hot dab on occasion. I'm not gonna lie to you.
it's impossible to not take a hot dab when you're taking a big dab.
Yeah.
When you take a
Oh,
big
yeah.
dab, you have to take it a little hotter than necessary just to finish it.
Yeah.
I went through, I still have most of my bongs on a shelf, just kind of sitting there as like nostalgia, but I've kind of moved on to like a single, just like a small bong. The smaller the bong, the better for dabbing. You don't want a lot of airspace, and you don't want a lot. The thing with flower is you want to filter it as much as possible so that you kind of like get a lot of that particulate matter from the smoke out of the actual experience.
Okay.
But with the hash, you'll find that like when you have a big rig with a lot of water, you'll have a lot more hash get stuck in the water. And it's just like, you'll notice it when you break out like a big rig compared to a small rig, it takes more to get to the same place. So a lot of people
See,
think
yeah,
about
that makes sense.
like just a small straight tube with like 2 or 3 holes on the downstem for diffusion is really all you need.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I have to pet my cat right now. She's 18 years old and she's kind of
Ooh.
falling into dementia right now, so
Really?
she gets lost. So I have to kind of go and be
What's
like,
the cat's name?
Yeah, what's her name?
She was originally named Patches, but then because I got her so young, I bottle fed her myself. She was given to me like way too young, like a kind of an irresponsible adoption. My grandma just brought her home one day, and so her name is Baby now because of that whole little nickname of like me bottle feeding her. So she's like attached to me. Like she wants to be with me at
Right.
all times. She kind
That's
of
how
thinks
my
I'm her
cat is
brother.
too.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. I just have to give her love and move on with life.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny that the three of us have cats. Alicia's got Rico. I
Rico.
got my cat. Her name's Bella. Me and my wife, we saved her out of the alley, like right behind our house, about
Nice.
a year ago. If I actually turn my camera, yep, this way, you
Oh, she's
can
got a
see.
stocking.
And yeah, so this is her stocking's the one in the middle. Her stocking also happens to be the one that has the most shit in it.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to have cats. I'd like to have a dog maybe one day, but to be honest, I'm away a lot with like the
Yeah.
gardening and all of that stuff. And
Right, right.
it would be so
A little
irresponsible to
bit
not be able to
more
like walk a
independent
dog
animal.
appropriately and stuff. So I really just kind of think cats are kind of the vibe for the
Yeah.
current lifestyle I live.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
love them.
like actually last year we had just got the cat before the DGC Cup. So like the cat actually came from Chicago to Colorado with us. Like she was in the
Yeah.
car, she was at the fucking Airbnb, like everything.
Nice. Oh yeah. I bet you, yeah, my cat hates cars, so that would not be an option for me.
See, like, so she's a girl, but she's like a total daddy's girl. And like, if she ever feels like kind of scared, like she feels like safe by me, if that makes sense. So, like,
Okay.
she was getting like scared in the car. No matter what would go on, she would end up under my driver's seat because like she felt safe like being like close to me. But like maybe like on the hour, every hour, like a fucking cuckoo clock, she would like come out from like between my feet, like almost kind of going by the pedals. I'd have to pick her up like,
Which,
no, don't go down there.
nope. That's
Doing
the worst spot to be.
75 driving down the expressway.
Yeah.
But no, she
That's yeah.
actually really liked the Airbnb. She really liked Colorado because we were kind of like on farmland. Like we were only maybe like a mile or two away from where the venue is from the farm there. So we were kind of on farmland ourselves. Like there was like rabbits, there was birds. That might have been the first time she ever seen grass because we're from like Chicago, so it's like cement.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we didn't we didn't let her outside there last year, but she got like new windows to look out of and she loved it.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Well, now you have a harness for her and everything, so you can take her for little walks.
Oh yeah, already planning on it because DGC Cup this year I'm gonna be vending. I made it official with Brett, but I've been talking to Lily to Little Real, and they're gonna let me do some food service this year. So like
Nice.
all the chicken wing clips I got from last year, everybody will get to try them this year.
Nice.
I'm also, yeah, she's definitely coming because I'm gonna be out there for a full week. I'm going earlier though because like the cup's June 7th. I'm gonna be out there that Monday. I'll get out there Monday, then Tuesday I'm getting married at International Church of Cannabis.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah. If you
Hell
and the
yeah.
wife want to come, man, we're renting it out after hours. So my wedding actually is going to be a consumption event.
Nice. Hell yeah. Yeah. Just remind me closer to the date. It's all kind of
Oh,
dependent
yeah.
upon like my work
Yeah.
schedule.
Yeah, because it's going to be the wedding's going to be but it'll be in the evening, you know what I mean? But that'll be at Church of Cannabis, and it's
Nice.
kind of up in the air right now between Adam Dunn's barbecue place or if Raider Dank Vader's got his pizza place open already at that point. But I
Yeah.
guess within the next month or two, he's supposed to have his spot right there in Fort Collins.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So I just had Adam Dunn's barbecue last night at that event, and it is good. It's
Good.
definitely good.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I would probably lean towards Raider Dank Vader and try to like hang out within the community a little bit if it was an option.
Right,
But
right.
the Adam Dunn option is, as good. Just
I guess the Adam Dunn options there through like some context I got through like Grambo and stuff. So he's already because Grambo's actually Grambo's getting God help us all. Grambo's getting ordained, so he's actually going to be the one doing the service.
nice.
Oh no, Mr. Dick and Pussy Joke is gonna get me married.
He's Mr. Romantic now.
Hopefully, lightning doesn't strike him down in the heathen church.
I have confidence in Grambo. I know he's goofy,
Oh no, he'll definitely do good.
He will provide you with a great ceremony.
Yeah, he's gonna do a good job.
Grambo
might
tell
really
some jokes
does.
Afterwards.
Yeah. Well, we will get a little. I'm sure we'll get a little comedy routine. He's a really great MC, though. You know what I mean? Like master of ceremonies. Like he's definitely does it pretty cool.
He was at that party last night, and you could always just see people kind of like gather around him. Like he's kind of one of those like social magnets.
I'm gonna be Grambo's. Don't quote me, but I think it's gonna be next week. I'm gonna be Grambo's first guest of 2025. So whatever Sunday night is, just book that.
Nice.
It's a good time.
Yeah, he told me my episode with him got age gated, so I apparently said something. I apparently said something on his show that wasn't cool.
Oh really?
I have no idea. I think at one point.
What though?
I go ahead. I'm not going to repeat it on here just in case.
Oh, okay. No, you know what though? It's like the weirdest thing sometimes because that is one of the things. Like over the next couple days, editing the wing video for next week, releasing those as clips. There were 2 clips that got age gated, and I was so pissed off because it just happened to be like my personal 2 favorite: One-Eyed Cat Cannabis and Taking Tops, because both of them were like funny, like they were engaging, whatever. Okay, so but like out of the clips, like I can say like those 2 were actually my personal favorites. Both of them got fucking age gated because both of those assholes had like weed t-shirts on. So the algorithm on YouTube picked up the nug on their shirt.
Yeah.
That's gonna be one during the week here. I'm gonna have to teach myself how to do like the little video blur thing. I'm gonna try because that's kind of like the goal for next week. I'm gonna have to edit it down, but try not to get it age gated. It's gonna be my personal hell for probably like a 10-hour edit session.
Oh gosh, that's like the thing is like I'm really like kind of like surprised that you guys put so much effort into this because I've done a few other shows and there was like so little graphical, like musical, like all of the things you guys are doing is like really like commendable, and I'm like really impressed.
Hell yeah. Well, see, that's the thing too. Like, I don't know. A lot of people think we're doing like a grow show. Like this isn't even necessarily like a grow show. Like this is kind of more like a talk show. But it's kind of a place that growers come to bullshit. But like not only growers too. Like Alicia, you remember I did that Conversations with Cortez with like the what's his name? Captain Morgan. He's like the comedian, like Instagram influencer. Like it was kind of funny though, because he's a guy from West Virginia, but he kind of came on talking about like the opioid epidemic and everything. And like I just had him on because I thought he was like, somebody that I talked to on Instagram and stuff, just being like a influencer, networking, talking to people. He was always somebody that was cool. But like I didn't even realize till I got him on. He's like, "Oh yeah, bud, I'm from West Virginia. We grow weed outside. That's how we pay for truck tires." So like I didn't even realize that there was like the cannabis connection there. So like even the stuff we do moving forward, like it's definitely like the cannabis community stuff is always like cannabis adjacent, but like our show it's just a little different. You know what I mean? It doesn't really fall into like a format that's really being done like at the moment.
Yeah, I think
but we're definitely learning in public. You know what I mean? We're still kind of working through like the glitches. We're doing all the fine tuning. Hey, big shout out to Gigi. Merry Christmas. So we're definitely getting to a certain point, but I think it's got some potential. So I want to give a big shout out to all the people that have supported us so far.
I know. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. So,
Oh, I know. And we've had some
and then
pretty
guests
good
like
people
you,
on.
Jeremy. It's that we all. I don't know. It just all comes together perfectly.
Of course, yeah. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, anytime you guys want me to come back, I'll definitely come back. I love talking to you guys. It's not,
Yeah.
you
There's
know, I'm
so
I'm
much,
usually more prone to talk about grow stuff, certainly, but if it's more of like a social conversation, that's I'm
Yeah,
talking regardless. So
right. No, but see that that's the thing though. Like we don't have to paint ourselves into a box. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
that
all this
works.
is all of this is like just free flow conversation. So you go on some shows and they kind of I wouldn't say scripted, but some shows have like show
No,
notes and you know what I
it's
mean? So
scripted. Yeah.
they kind of do like a rough roadmap to kind of direct the conversation, everything. Like this is a show you can come on and talk like we've been on here talking about like conspiracy theories and fucking
last week.
what do you call it, drones. Like,
The drones got us
you just
East Coasters
come,
last week.
smoke weed, talk shit. It's a good time, dude. It's
Yeah,
a party.
I had sent you a message and I was like, "Hey, can you let me know what you want to talk about?" And you're like, "We're just gonna shoot the shit," because I've
Huh?
literally done shows where they send me like step by
Yes.
step the questions they're going to ask in
Yeah,
a row.
I
Yeah.
hear.
It doesn't delineate from that. Like if I go off on a little rant, they immediately just ask me the next question.
They try to rein you back in.
Right, you're back
Yeah.
in. Yeah. Well, that's why it's conversations with Cortez, because it's more like a conversation than an interview.
Right.
But we try to
Well, I
interview you
mean,
because we want to pick
it's
that
kind of
brain.
like an interview because, like, okay, so one of the things that I try to do, right? So it's like, people have heard of JLS Monster, and oh yeah, that one guy with the rosin. People have heard about you as like a breeder, but like, I like to bring people on and kind of like pick into them a little bit more, so like you can see like who that person is.
Yeah,
It's
you
kind of like,
humanize people a little bit.
right. So one of my top 5 favorite movies is that X-Men, but it's like the Wolverine, but it's the origin story one, to where it kind of shows you like where Wolverine came from. If you guys have seen it, but like I always thought that was like a cool like aspect to do on like an interview and stuff, especially like if it's my first time like interviewing somebody, like where did you start smoking, when did you start growing, like kind of go like back, so it's not just like kind of the person of like, oh, they got 100,000 views here or so many followers here. It's like, who is this person? So that's why
Yeah,
it's kind of cool to just take like the time out to talk to people.
of course. Yeah, I mean, growers and breeders really don't have the opportunity or the platforms for these types of conversations. So like, it's very important for like even like me as trying to establish a brand to have like a platform to like come out and like show who I am and like try to like
Right. So
sell my goods
people
and
can kind of see
services.
like what your personality is. They're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay, Jeremy, JLS
Yeah.
Monster.
And that has a lot to do with a lot of the shows I do watch, because I like the people, like I don't really listen to people that irritate me or I don't agree with too often. So it's like just
Right.
the flow, the energy. Everybody has their own.
Right, that's the cool thing, because I mean, like, if you find somebody that you like kind of vibe with, like that's how I got introduced to like the DGC community, even really, was
Exactly.
because it was like these guys are giving just like common, like no nonsense advice. Like they sound like me, they talk like me, they make jokes how I make jokes, you know what I mean? So it was just kind of like-minded people just kind of like find themselves together.
The endearing part of the Dude Grows show is that both the dude and Scotty fail in public. Like
Right. Not afraid to fail in public.
they will mess up a grow and then be like, "Hey, I got
Oh,
powdery
it's sweet.
mildew. Let's use this to ask everybody how to not get powdery mildew."
Mhm.
And I have this problem. I don't like showing things that aren't perfect on my Instagram. I show a lot of stuff behind the scenes esque in my stories, but like if I'm posting it on my wall or like a reel,
Right.
I really
Yeah.
struggle
Same.
with like
Yeah.
nowadays it needs to be like nice. And that's kind of
With
where
the
I use
black
my
background.
stories at, is I post all the time in my stories on Instagram because like I can be a little less anxious about the like long-term judgment of like
Yeah.
a
That,
line that's not straight or something.
yeah. That one grow that you're like,
Yep.
I don't want to
Yeah.
look at you
So,
anymore.
like so many breeders on Instagram, you have no idea who they are. They display themselves like they're the coolest fucking dudes. They never mess up. They show you thousands of plants at a time, and they never zoom in on the plants, so you never see the problems that are on those plants, but you just see just like epic scale of things. But like, these shows are really important for like, because back in the day, all of those breeders were posting on forums like Icy Mag or like these other different ways to like humanize themselves. And nowadays, because there's no real forums anymore and Instagram is so spread out,
No.
there's nowhere for a new breeder to like humanize himself and like try to connect with people unless he is just so diligent about posting everywhere. And it's like, that is exhausting because I get like 40 or 50 messages a day on Instagram and I message most people back. Like I
Yeah.
try my
Yeah.
hardest.
It is sometimes like a full-time job.
It I will spend 2 or 3 hours a week at least messaging people on Instagram, and then every message has a reply. So it's never just like one message. It's always messages. So it's 40 or 50 conversations started every day, not counting like somebody that may message me from a previous conversation from a few days
Yeah.
back. It's
Yeah.
just like, that's it's overwhelming for a lot of people, and that's kind of like the make or break point becoming something in the cannabis industry is like your ability to just like talk to people and like humanize yourself enough to like help people in the grow. People just, they just want to talk to you, and like it's just so hard to talk to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most definitely. I just missed most of that though because I just ran into some like internet issues, but
We didn't see the cat this
higher
time.
than a fucking kite on top of it. Oh yeah.
Normally it shows the cat when he goes offline.
That's through the webcam, and it's one of those orange
Oh.
cats too.
I love it. It's so funny.
It's like a Garfield cat.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But hey, since I'm back here, let's get into. You want to get into a little bit of Secret Santa with us, Jeremy?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Everyone enter. Does it tell you how many?
ado. Well, we got to do this 5 times, so here we might as well do the first one now. Oh wait, shit. Well, here, this is gonna take me a minute. So, what are you doing for Christmas there, Alicia?
Oh, okay. Me, going my mom's house, and gonna do it there. Gonna help her cook a roast. Set table. Yeah, nothing. Yes, super. But then my brother, my sister, everyone will be there.
Nothing too fancy. Well,
Nice family outing.
Yeah.
Can you guys see this here? Yeah. So this will be for prize pack number 1. And the winner is Legal Alien. Would you look at that?
Congratulations.
Legal Alien is the first big winner. Here, I got the list.
Congratulations.
Big shout out. What's his name? Huey?
Huey, yeah.
Okay, so Huey won the prize pack from Rasufa. Alicia, do you got a little bit more of the information behind that one?
It's some of Rasufa's
I'm gonna be
beans,
right back.
and also he stickers, and what he's just gonna surprise you with some good stuff. But you're gonna get seeds and some other little extra like fun things.
Nice. Rasuf is a cool dude.
Yeah, he was just on too. He's very nice. It's very nice of him to to do it, and then he knows so much, like just because of his education. My mind's just giving. Even talking to you, I feel like I'm talking to a scientist. It's just so more in depth.
It's just 10 plus years doing the same thing. I'm assuming you guys would be able to talk about like making graphics and stuff, and it would just go right over my head the same way that I like talk about microns or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Drank too much soda before the show.
No.
All right. So now, what do you got going on, Jeremy? What are you doing for Christmas, bud?
So this is going to be the first year I get to not travel for Christmas, and I just get to stay in Colorado with just me and my wife. We try to go back to Illinois to visit the family and stuff like that. But this year we're going to just take it easy and kind of stay around, and we'll visit them at a less stressful time.
Yeah.
Christmas
Kicking
is always
it
such
at the
high
casa.
tension. So
Number 2.
So we got 7 people that entered for number 2. Let's see who winner number 2 is. Sir Fapsalot. I think that's Harry Palm's brother. So, okay, Sir Fapsalot.
Congratulations.
You are the winner, sir, of a Real Growers prize pack. I don't know. I'm not sure if we follow each other, but the best way to do that would probably be to reach out to me on Instagram. Oh, wait, I see him in the chat there saying that he's going blind. But he just won. Oh, wait. Shit.
Cool.
He just won a 24-ounce Grow Dot and an 8-ounce Recharge. So that is full plant nutrition for a 9-plant cycle to get you from seed or clone to harvest.
Nice. I love it. That's good.
All right.
That's a good one.
Sir Fapsalot, just reach out to me on Instagram. I'm going to give you a promo code. You just put that into the website, and they're going to send it to your desired mailing address. Okay. That's a hell of a name there, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Sir Fapsalot.
And picture. It's like a zombie president. It looks like.
Right.
I did
Joe
receive
Biden.
it, Huey. Thank you.
Watch, this is going to turn out to be somebody's what do you call it? Like troll account or something? Will the owner of this backup troll account please claim your Real Growers prize package?
Oh, all right. We're going number 3.
Now, number 3. Oh, we got 9 entries for this one. Take a look. And nobody will win twice. So if you already won once. Oh, Thomas Cooley.
Congratulations.
Big shout out Thomas Cooley. I know who that is. He's DGC. So, okay, Thomas Cooley, you've won the prize pack from Chonky Nugs. He's got some genetics for you. Here, let's bring Chonky on for a second. What's going on, Chonk?
Jockey!
Hey, what's
You're li-
going on?
You're live, buddy.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the background for the last hour and a half, having fun back here.
Hell yeah. Well, you've been helping out with a lot of stuff. So just so everybody knows too, Chonky Nugs is actually our new producer of the show.
Yes.
Yes, cheers, everyone.
Nice.
Great job so far too, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I've had a few little slips so far with double clicking, but I don't know if nobody's noticed enough to call me out on it. So
No.
Yeah, no.
That's okay.
It's not bad. But, okay.
yeah, no,
So we
but
got-
yes. Thank you everybody for watching, and Thomas, I'll get your beans out to you. I am in severe hard lockdown and IG jail, unfortunately. But if you
Could
do
reach out to
follow-
me, or Alicia, or anybody.
Yeah, you can
we'll
pass it.
find a way to make it work.
Yeah, and if we follow each other on Instagram, you can message me, but the only thing I can do on Instagram right now is post and DM people I'm already friends with. So
Oh,
I'm
that's-
kind of in a lockdown.
yeah. Chonky was a bad boy.
I don't even know what I did. I only commented on Sicko's post. And that's all I did, and I got banned.
Wow.
Ooh. Okay, so guys, no one entered for Cortez saved. Cortez saves 4. So
The E is gone.
there's 33 people in the live chat right now. I'm going to give all you guys the opportunity to type hashtag Cortez. Oh, wait. Did I really misspell this?
You did.
Could be why. I think I
Uh-oh.
did. You know, I can count better than I can spell. This is why I got Chonky to help. Okay. Let's try this one more again. Oh, yeah. Okay. 12 entries. I'm just dumb. Sorry, guys. Secret Santa
Curly
number.
green leaf.
Curly's green leaf. So, Alicia, he's won your prize pack. Do you want to tell him what he won from the Secret Santa?
It's for hydro growers. It's hyper roots. It's a bag of 50 plugs. So hopefully you grow hydro. If not, hope one of your friends do. So that's what you want.
Yeah. You could probably still use those, even if you didn't grow hydro for like.
I'd have to look and see
starter.
exactly like the I
Yeah,
don't even understand what it
still
is.
You could still use them for like taking clones or maybe even like seed
Okay.
starters, even if you're not necessarily just strictly hydro. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. You can clone your little heart out 50 times.
I don't know. For all we know, Curly is what is it? Deep water culture guy. All right.
But yeah, get a hold of me, Curly, and I can get that to you.
Just make sure I spelled this correctly this time.
Yeah.
I think you got it that time.
7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Third time's the charm. Oh, look, I thought that was going to be Thurgood. I was like, no way.
You know where? You're
But-
like, congratulations.
I'm not even trying to shit on Thurgood, but he wins every time. People are going to start to think this is like rigged or something if he wins something like every
He
time.
does win an awful lot.
Yeah.
And I can't say much. I've been pretty blessed on the drawings myself.
I've won
Yeah,
some
I've
pretty
won.
cool stuff out of the grow community, so I can definitely relate there.
Yeah, I'm just enjoyed my last cheesecake that I won just last night after
Did
the
you?
show. Yeah.
Oh wait, I exited out. So prize pack number 5. What was that? Sterling Productions.
String Productions. That's one of mine. That's my other.
Flag ring.
That's my other prize pack. My other seed pack was the last one, I believe.
Yep.
So wait, Staggering Productions won your. Oh no! Prize pack number 5 is for the
Oh, is it the cheesecake?
Yeah,
Oh.
so number 5 is the cheesecake, and then the
Sorry.
one for you, we just combined it. So whatever genetics you were gonna send, just make that one thing, and then the Sterling Productions, they'll get a cheesecake.
Staggering.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would have to look
you can.
Somebody, I think it was whoever won the 3rd prize pack won what you were offering.
Yep, curly green leaf.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, curly green leaf. There we go. This is too, Alicia. I got like stoner brain going on right now.
You're lucky I'm not. I mean, I am, but
I was the monkey working the keyboard on that one, so buttons and misspelling stuff.
Well, congratulations, everyone.
Yes, congrats.
Do you want to tell Staggering Productions a little bit about your cheesecake experience there, Chonky? From the one that you won from the Halloween show?
Oh, yeah. So they are amazing in every way. They are amazingly easy to make. If I can make them, anybody can. Do definitely add, there's a little tip on the instructions to add a little bit of cream cheese.
Yeah.
I didn't do an A and B side by side, but I added the cream cheese, and they're pretty freaking amazing. So I did make, I think I made 10 just to make the dosing easier. And then after I had a few, eat one if you want to be nice and lifted and be able to do stuff. Eat 2 if you don't want to work or do anything other than melt the couch.
And wake up high after a full 8 hours of sleep.
Yep. What I did is I froze. I put them in a tray and froze them to get them nice and hard, and then I pulled them out, and then I wrapped them in wax paper, and then I put them into a freezer bag.
I did the same thing.
Yep, and actually, me being the fat kid that I am, didn't want to wait for them to thaw out, so I pulled them right out of the freezer and ate them frozen. It's just like an ice cream sandwich. So,
yeah.
But yeah, they're great.
They're a good time. They're a good time.
Yep,
so that was
actually
my wife. That was Mrs. Cortez that sponsored the cheesecake giveaway there.
Yes, thank you, Bella Lynn.
All right, Chunk, we're gonna put you backstage for now. I think we will probably start wrapping up a bit here, though. Do you got any big stuff coming up soon we should look out for? Any seed drops or anything?
So I just finished a new pollination, and I'm hunting some new seeds now. I did a reversal with my rainbow kernel, that one I was telling you guys about earlier. Everything's at like day 9 or 10 right now. So it's just starting.
I gotta get a cut of that kernel Chem from you, bud. I
Yeah.
want to run that one.
Yeah, so everything is like, right before the second week of flowers, so I can't quite tell how things are yet. This is like the most nerve-wracking time for me, because in the next 2 weeks, everything will either show me that it's intersex or it will be great. So if everything goes great, I'll have those seeds dropped around, I'm thinking maybe like 4/20 of next year. I'll probably do the drop. I'm not really sure. They'll be ready way before then, but like everybody really likes like holiday themed seed drops and stuff like that.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm harvesting the
Daz usually does a big
now.
Halloween drop.
So I'll have a bunch of new hash coming on the feed soon. And then other than that, I'm thinking I might be competing in the Dude Grows Cup this year.
Oh, nice.
I hope to see you out there, brother. Well, you're in Fort Collins, so you're kind of like required to go.
Yeah, so I was there last year.
You're gonna be getting the text, Jeremy, can you bring some ice?
Yeah, so I met everybody at the Dude Grows Cup last year, so I was vending there last year, but I didn't have like a spare second because I was selling seeds. and like people were just like, thankfully like really interested, and I talk a lot, so like it was like line never stopping type of situation. This
Plus,
year
you get the recognition because you've been up to the mothership a couple times now.
I may vend again this year. I might not, and I might just compete so that I can actually like hang out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Little Birdie said there might be like a hash competition this year, or maybe even next
I've
year.
heard that. I think Chonky was saying something about that.
Yeah,
Chonky, can
there's
you
some
find us
rumblings of it.
any information on the DGC website about if there's going to be a hash entry?
Well,
This
I
is
don't- I
what
think
I've always
there's-
wanted. Somebody
I
that
think
can
they're
like look
still
stuff up while I'm
debating it.
talking.
That's I'm sure that they're trying to figure out the ins and outs of the actual like situation, because
How
like
to go about it.
if you got to think like, are you going to limit it to 30 competitors? Are you going to do like 40 or
Right.
50 like who can take 50 dabs?
Well, I think last year they did 70 entries. The year before I competed, and it was me against 49 others.
Yeah.
So
like,
I'm not sure about the number this year.
So for me, judging flower is really easy because you can take a one hitter of it and determine if it was grown well and cured well right away.
Right.
And if it like literally if they didn't hit the mark on the grow and the cure, I don't even care. So I'm just going to eliminate it immediately, and I don't have to consume enough of it to get high. But like to take a dab of every single entry, Ego Clash, they'll do like a 12-hour day, and they're judging hash all day long. And like people are like professional cannabis judges are like getting so high that they're like fading out and like low blood sugar and stuff like that. And it's like the Dude Grows Cup is a public competition where everybody judges, and like there's gonna be some trickiness to like, if everybody's trying to take 20, 30, maybe even 40 dabs, it's like, man, you're gonna have a lot of weird driving out of that event.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I don't
That's actually one
know.
of the things that they told me, because like I'm doing food service. So the thing, ooh, I did that one hot. I turned the temperature up. Ooh. So that was one of the things they asked me, because like for each food item I do, it's going to have an accompanied infused sauce. So kind of with dabs, like edibles are kind of the same way, to where it's like a multiplier. So they actually asked me to tone down how I make stuff usually. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna cut stuff down to like 50 milligrams per serving. Because you get that one person that's kind of got like a sensitivity. If I give them like 300 milligrams, they're gonna be like, they'll need a grown up.
I mean, there are some people there that like, are just traveling there
more on the casual side,
an illegal state, and that might be the most weed they smoke in a setting in 1 year.
Yeah.
Right.
And they might, 20 or 30 milligrams might floor them like that. And especially if it's a hot day and they're dehydrated, like, I would, it's tricky. That's why the recreational dose limit is 10 in Colorado. And then you can choose by, like, you can sell 100 at a time, but they come in 10 each. So like you get to kind of pick your poison in that regard. But
that makes sense. Okay.
It's tricky with wings because it's like, the sauce is 100 milligrams for 500 mLs. Like, who knows?
Well, what I do the measurement of I do milligrams per fluid ounce. So that's and then I go into like ramekins, like the little plastic cup, little sauce cup with the cap. So like I can do 1, 2, 4 ounce ramekins, but then it also depends on how much material I'm putting into my concentrate when I do the extraction before I go into the infusion. So like I can always place opposite on that side too. Like me, if it's something that I just make for like myself personally, something I'm sharing with like one of my friends, if it's like, you know, I use the magical butter machine. So if it says to use like 14 grams of something, like I'm probably going to throw like a whole ounce in there. So I'm always like, just kind of, would you say stuffing it down her throat?
Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah,
same
so,
way with
you
my
know,
lights. Like I just got my lights pinned to canopy, and the goal is to get to 100% like as soon as possible. I'm living soil. Well, I'm synganic in living soil, but I do the recharge, so I'm not pHing. I'm not measuring my runoff. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what VPD is. Like I don't participate in that conversation. I just grow fucking weed, man. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's
I'm pulling 730 watts on the wall, 12 hours a day right now.
yeah, it's tricky. You know, everybody has a different style, and that's kind of what makes cannabis so like fun, is that it's not just one way yet. Everybody kind of has a different way about going about it. Everybody has
I grow weed like we grew weed 10, 20 years ago. Like I'm still kind of that guy that doesn't want to
yeah, so you know,
telling
so
people get off my lawn.
What did I think Chunky found something? What did he the answer if he was able to find if they're doing hash?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I threw it up. It looks like there's a VIP hash badge competitor, but it looks like it's only at the VIP party. I can't find any actual information.
That would make sense
more
if they're not doing it on the day of and they're doing it the night before.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's kind of more of like a VIP.
I can't confirm that, but here, let me put this back up for you here.
Yeah, let's see what you got, Chunk.
So it's down here. You can see VIP and DGC hash bash competitor. So I'm not sure if that means it's just there's a hash badge or hash bash.
Oh, okay. So the way that works, if you're paying for competitor, then you're competing. Because like even you see where it says like DGC flower cup competitor, you gotta pay a little bit more basically if you're putting an entry in.
Yeah. I just didn't see a hash bash up here just with competitor. That's why I was thinking it was the VIP. I'm not sure.
Hey, wait, let me ask you a question, Chunky. Do you see how it says Saturday, but then can you click the Friday instead? Do the options change?
No, I know the VIP party is Friday night.
Yeah,
so
VIP party's always Friday night.
Yeah.
Yep. So Friday night VIP hash. Oh, you know what? I actually chose one. Let's see.
You know, it'll just for me. You know, it's going to be really interesting how many actual entries that they allow in the hash portion. That's a whole different kind of competition.
Yeah.
You know, regulating everybody's ability to take a dab at the same temperature is something they're going to have to figure out. Who's doing, like, am I allowed to do it the way I always do it, or is somebody like bud tending for me?
Right. Yeah. They had bud tenders last year.
Yeah. But like, you know, I'm lighting my own pipe. I'm not like, they're not like sending a torch through it. You know, I'm getting to choose the way in which I like inhale and consume the cannabis in that regard. So it's like, you know,
your preferred method of consumption.
I was saying, like, you know, if they end up doing a hash competition, I'll probably compete in the flower side of things, just because I think I'm going to try to give away some prizes to the hash winners. So I would probably not. I feel like everybody kind of agrees that if I'm like one of the sponsors of the hash competition, if it does happen, then like if I win, it would also kind of like be like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
So
yeah, that
I'm
makes
just gonna
sense.
try to
Right.
avoid that in all costs. So, but like, if I end up
Avoid a little
not
bit of
giving,
controversy.
yeah, if I end up not sponsoring the event, or like they have like their own like little prize packs already like figured out, then I'll definitely do the hash over the flower.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Something to look forward to. Cigarette.
All right. Did you
Yeah, I've
have
never-
any shout outs you wanted to give, Jeremy?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at JLS Monster. My website is
We have your
www.3geneticsreserve.com.
Instagram as a clickable link in the description
Nice.
if anybody wants to check it out too. So.
Oh yeah, and I make seeds for Three's Genetics Reserve. That's a company that's me and two other people. I'm currently like the guy doing the seed work for it. But Three's Genetics is a different person than me. So if you need to reach out to me, just reach out to the JLS Monster account. Like I said, I answer all the DMs. And if you email the website, I also get those. So
Okay. So if somebody doesn't necessarily got an Instagram, they can still reach out to you through email and they can get a hold of you through the website. I put a clickable link down in the description for your IG. If you give me the website information, I can edit that in. So if people are watching the replay of this rather than the live, we'll have the website in there too as a clickable link.
Okay, cool beans, yeah. So the website is www.threesgeneticreserve.com.
All right. Yeah, we got it up on the screen there.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
It was great chatting with you guys.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it feels like we could talk for like another hour or two, but we're actually coming up on the 2-hour mark here.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I can go. So there's
Oh yeah. We'll have you back on actually in March. March we're gonna do all breeders. If you want to be a part of our March Breeders Month, I definitely invite you to come back on and we can figure out some scheduling if you'd like.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the testing for my next seed run will be done and I'll be able to give you a little rundown of that stuff and then too.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know which Sunday of March it would be or what you got your schedule going on, but we can definitely figure something out.
Yes.
Okay, I know my wife's birthday is in March, but as long as it doesn't fall on that Sunday, that's the only day I can't do.
I'll make sure it doesn't.
Yeah. we still got some flexibility. So I know there's a couple options open still.
Nice. Hell yeah. And you know, if it's you know, the month previous or the month after, it's all good. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I'm down to come and hang out.
We'll figure it out, man.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for your time, bud.
Thank you.
Cool. Have a good day, everybody.
We'll see you later.
Hell yeah. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Is blown. I found out a decent amount about like rosin and stuff with him, right?
Well, yeah. And even like thinking about the genetics of or how he does the whole auto process is just like it makes sense. But you know, we did hear it last week as well, and then it's just like it's so delicate. It's pretty crazy how they do it.
Right.
I could hear it every time. Probably it'd still be like, oh wow.
Still pick up like a little new nugget every time. A little piece of
exactly.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. Well, we won't be live, but we will have the full wing video. So that's going to be a really good time. Even though we won't be live, I will be in the live chats. So we can all, that one we can all watch it together. I won't be the one in front of the camera. Well, I will be, but it's pre-recorded.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
bye, guys.
Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. Hope you have a great
Merry Christmas.
Thank you for coming.
And a Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's. Yeah, because we don't.
I'm nothing to play with. Go and find yourself a toy.
Let me this bitch retarded.